Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Karina Rubio. The day's finally here. It's your chance to make a difference in the Champaign-Urbana area because See You at Home is hosting their biggest fundraiser of the year right now. WCIA 3's Christy Batista joins us live from our back parking lot with more details about how you can help. Christy, how's it going out there?
Hey, Karina, it's going great, and we do kick off the noon hour with an update. We have officially raised $7,383, so we are going to move that up, and we are all good right there. And so obviously we have still a long way to go, but you really, of course, the Champaign-Urbana community has really come out strong to donate to See You at Home, and we actually have a few cars lined up right now to kick off the lunch hour. See You at Home provides a place for people to go during the day. With the Phoenix Drop-In Center, they provide education if someone needs it. They have transitional housing for both men and women. They get people to resources they may need and will even give someone a ride as far as 2 to 3 hours away. They do everything they can to make sure to help people who don't have a place to lay their head at night. But here's the thing. They rely solely on your donations, so they do not get any help from anybody else. One Winter Night kicks off later on this evening, and that is their biggest fundraiser event of the year. So we are trying to help them kick things off here. We do have one box in our parking lot so far, and there will be more box dwellers coming up later on this evening. But you can also, if you can't swing by our back parking lot, you can go to WCIA.com and make a donation online. You can also text OWN WCIA to 50155. We make it very easy for you to make your donation today. We know it's very cold outside, so you can make that donation right from the comfort of your own home. Back to you, Karina.
All right, thanks, Christy. We're looking forward to tonight. Now, in other news, 2 arrests have been made in connection to a burglary investigation. Pictures were posted to the Leroy Police Department's Facebook page. 22-year-old Brendan Kano was charged with 1 count of residential burglary and 3 counts of firearm possession without a FOID card. Kano is being held at the McLean County Correctional Facility on $100,000 bond. Police also arrested Jordan Gillespie. Gillespie was charged with 1 count of residential burglary, 3 counts of a felon in possession of a firearm, and 3 counts of possession of child pornography. He's also being held at the McLean County Jail on $285,000 bond. And some new police units in Danville are getting guns off the streets. This unit has seized more than 33 illegal guns between June and now. That's on top of what patrol officers were already doing. 6 officers are part of these units, and they don't always respond to everyday calls for service. So that means these officers have more time to dedicate to this. The chief says this also means fewer calls for service overall.
What my objective is to lower the incidence of crime and lower the need for police to respond in different areas. And it's not because we do not want to respond, it's because the fewer calls for service means the fewer complainants. The fewer complainants means we have fewer victims.
He says they've also noticed more of these guns are coming from young people. All of these guns were either possessed illegally or involved in some sort of crime. And Illinois is on track to eliminate cash bail, and that has some people worried for the safety of violent crime survivors. Republicans, state's attorneys, and other law enforcement officers are concerned that abusers and other violent criminals will be able to walk free after committing crimes. The Pretrial Fairness Act still puts that decision in the judge's hands. It just eliminates money as a deciding factor. The move was supported by groups like the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, who believe concerns from survivors were taken into account.
That what we now have to do is turn our efforts to developing implementation policy, which means really supporting law enforcement and prosecutors and the courts in developing appropriate assessments to make those determinations.
Without having a larger dialogue with those groups, I feel like they did something that wasn't very good for victims.
Now, this is still waiting for the governor's signature. If he does sign it, cash bail will be eliminated starting in 2023. And a group of community activists in Champaign and Urbana are running to put progressives on each city council. The group, called the People's Council, met on Facebook Live to talk with community members about their agenda. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer has the latest.
We are trying to emphasize a more people-centered, a community-centered politics, as opposed to what seems to be a much more insular status quo.
Chronic homelessness, affordable housing, and a statewide push to cancel rent payments are just some of the topics the People's City Council have tackled. They're a group of activists who were involved with Champaign County's anti-racist coalition. Many took part in protests, demonstrations, and community outreach projects over the summer. Thursday night's Q&A focused on defunding the police and its implications.
This community is not immune from, police brutality, structural inequality.
Colin Dodson is running for Urbana's 2nd ward. Some of the candidates argued this would help address issues relating to police brutality in the local community. Others shared ideas about what other social services and resources would need additional funding if the budget was cut. Megan McDonald, who's running for Urbana's 5th ward, says issues like poverty, domestic violence, and mistreatment can't be solved with stricter policing.
They get called for these things, but they don't solve these issues. And so we're really just trying to amend that budget, or at least show that the political will is there.
She says there has to be better long-term solutions than giving officers more work to do.
Their next discussion is set for February 18th. The council will discuss ideas on how to address domestic violence in Champaign-Urbana. And a mother in Mattoon says her landlord has made her home unfit. She says several things have been taken out of her unit and turned off, including her power, water, and part of her hot water heater. She says her refrigerator and stove were also removed. Janelaine Ritchie is a hostess at a restaurant and a mother. She says she's had trouble paying her rent because of the pandemic, and her landlord has started making her home unlivable. She said she started making partial payments until her toilet was taken, and then she stopped making payments in July.
Everything is so crazy and just so up in the air that I don't want any more craziness in his life. And, coming home with no toilet, it's not his fault that I'm behind, but he is the one paying for it.
Ritchie gave us a copy of this 5-day notice she says was given last month. She doesn't expect to live for free, but she says she's doing the best she can right now. She says she understands her responsibility and will eventually pay him. And the Girl Scouts of America are teaming up with Grubhub in an effort to bounce back from some pandemic setbacks. For the first time ever, you can get your favorite cookies through the app, but the troops get to keep all of that money. Starting today from 5 until 8, you can place your order on Grubhub on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. The Girl Scouts will manage and track orders from their Champaign office on Round Barn Road, and Grubhub drivers will make the delivery within a 20-minute radius from the Scouts office. You can order those cookies on Grubhub until February 1st. And as they were saying outside, we're feeling some chilly conditions out there. Jack, give us an update on how things might look tonight.
Well, Karina, we've got, unfortunately, it's actually unfortunate because we've got clearing skies out.